When that final out is made, you know it's time for Locked On MLB Game Night. All the post-game reactions to every game across the league, every single night, with insights only the hosts at Locked On can provide. Prepare to experience game day reactions like never before. Only on Locked On MLB Game Night. Your team every day.
Thank you for being here for another edition of Locked On MLB Game Night. My name is John Frisch, one half of the Super Halo Bros, one half of Locked On Angels. With me is my co-host Lindsay Crosby at Crosby Baseball. Lindsay, it's great to see you, my friend.
Oh, I am so hyped to be on a podcast with you, John. We've been doing this. We've been friends for years, and we have not done a podcast together in months.
It's been a while. It's been a while, and so what better time than to do this on MLB Game Night? Hey, we got a great slate, a full slate of games for you on this game night episode. In fact, coming up, we'll be getting into the Cubs taking the season series from the Dodgers. The Tigers shut out the Padres. And of course, let's kick things off with the Phillies meeting the Mets. It was a sweep, and the Mets win their 7th in a row. This one took 10 innings, didn't it, Lindsay?
Yeah, it was, believe it or not, a walk-off for the Mets.
Surprise.
At home, they seem to just be unbeatable. Almost. They're 12-1 at home. It's the best 13-game start at home in team history.
Wow.
And the thing is, they're doing it with the pitching. Like, we all thought this offense would be a juggernaut with Juan Soto and everybody, and the pitching would struggle, but they're doing it with the pitching, with the bullpen. 2 runs to the Phillies lineup in 10 innings.
Yeah, they got, I said this on last night with Steve, they got a pitching lab out there in Queens, especially considering, they helped Sean Manaea get right last year. Apparently they helped Griffin Canning get right this year. Somebody that was on my Angels and was on your Braves for a minute, and then they let him go to the Mets. And
David
so here
Peterson
we are
today, 2 runs on, in 1 walk in 5 1/3 innings. He outduels Zach Wheeler. Almost. Right. Wheeler went a little deeper in the game, but still.
Right. Exactly. But at the end of this one, Jordan Romano allowed 2 runs in the 10th inning. So that's blown save number 2 for Jordan Romano. How about Alec Boehm going 3 for 5? Every one of the Phillies' 11 hits were singles, though, and that's not something that you expect from a mighty lineup like the Phillies. And so there's your answer for just coming up short. I know they had, extra innings. You got the ghost runner, the Manfred man on second base, but them's the rules and them's the breaks these days. Now for the Mets, we had a little double from Brett Beatty, a 2-run home run as well. Francisco Lindor just can't stop hitting, 2 for 4 with a run and a walk. Beatty's homer, by the way, was the hardest hit ball of his career, 113.9 miles per hour off the bat.
He's a guy that, lost his job at third base to Mark Vientos. They've moved him around. They have him playing some second base. He spent a lot of time in the minors, but he's trying to show that he needs to stay in the majors and he needs to be part of this team. And he's hitting the ball harder than ever.
Yeah, you're going to do anything you can to stay part of this very, very successful Mets team. In fact, let's go to the winning side of things. We've got Ryan with Locked On Mets, who's got the insight that only a Locked On local expert can provide. Here we go with Mr. Ryan Finkelstein.
When the New York Mets play at Citi Field this year, they are unstoppable. 12-1 at home to start the season for the first time in franchise history, and they complete a perfect 7-0 homestand by sweeping the Phillies in walk-off fashion as Starling Marte gets the big hit in the bottom of the 10th inning to make the Mets winners yet again. This is Ryan Finkelstein, the host of Locked On Mets, and we just saw an incredible team victory on Wednesday as they played great defense throughout to hang in the game. David Peterson, a solid start, working around 8 hits to give up just 2 runs. The bullpen pretty much lights out. Brett Beatty, a huge 2-run homer off of Zach Wheeler, and this lineup was able to get Wheeler out of the game after 6 innings. And the more that you get those opportunities against the Phillies bullpen, eventually the dam will break, and it did. Bottom of the 10th inning, the Mets trailing by 1. Pete Alonso once again plays hero, comes through with the huge RBI double. He was behind in the count, really tough slider to hit. Pete just goes with it, rips it into right center field for a double that scores Lindor, and then Alonso comes around to score when Starling Marte gets a 2-out broken bat single, and this Mets team able to finish off the Phillies in thrilling fashion. What a start to the season for your New York Mets, who are 18-7 through 25 games this year.
Gotta love that from Ryan right there. Enthusiastic, excited about his team, and good grief, man. I love this comment from Elsa's dad that we showed during the video. The Mets are hot and the Cubbies have the magic this year, and I'm an Astros fan. Hey, that just tells me that you're a baseball fan as well, when you can admit and see that these teams are cooking with gas. Now, for the other side of things, we're going to go to Connor.
Poor Connor.
Phillies, I know. He's not going to be happy about this one. So let's check out what Connor had to say from the Phillies side of things.
I want Jordan Romano off my baseball team this second. Connor Thomas, your host of Locked On Phillies. The Phillies get swept by the Mets. They score in the 10th after going into extras to make it 3-2. Jordan Romano comes in and absolutely just does what Jordan Romano does. Blows games. I mean, the Phillies were not great at the plate today. Zach Wheeler was awesome on the mound, and that's wonderful. But how many times does Zach Wheeler have to be awesome on the mound against the Mets for the rest of his team to let him down? I'm livid with this. And listen, the team's going to hit, and the starting pitching's going to be fine. And there are a couple okay arms in the bullpen, and Alvarado and Strom. But if I see Jordan Romano walk out to the mound in a Phillies jersey again, I'm going to lose my mind. He absolutely stinks right now. I don't care if you have to fake an injury. I don't care if you have to release him. I don't care what you do with him. Get him off the Philadelphia Phillies right now and find other guys in the bullpen while you're at it. This team right now, they're ridiculous. We'll talk on the next episode.
If Connor were in charge of this team, I think Jordan Romano would have that mysterious 15-day IL trip with fatigue, right, Lindsay?
He'd got fired on the tarmac. He'd have never made it. He'd have never made it back to Philly.
That's true. That's true. Man, we had an incredible 2-game set between the Dodgers and the Cubs. The Cubs end up winning the season series against the Dodgers. Now, if you've tuned in before, you know me from Locked On Angels. You know my heart is with the Angels. I'm an Angels fan, but I had to wear a winning team's hat for a change because good grief, man. We'll get to that nonsense later on in the show, but the Cubs win the season series against the Dodgers. Pete Crow-Armstrong will be sad to not play the Dodgers anymore because he went 3 for 4 with a home run and 4 RBIs. And just like last night, Lindsay, no lead was safe in this one, right?
This game went back and forth. Dodgers put up the first runs of the game, 2 runs in the third. Cubs came back with 3 runs in the bottom of the fourth. Dodgers responded with 3 runs in the top of the fifth. Cubs scored 4 runs in the bottom of the fifth. Just back and forth and back and forth. And that's been the story of these two teams. They have never played a normal game and together, and they never will. Right. And it's incredibly entertaining for those of us who don't root for either team because it's just chaos every time.
Yeah, it's good baseball if you're not a fan of the Dodgers or the Cubs. But if you're a Cubs fan, you're stressing out. And if you're a Dodgers fan, you're stressing out. Let's go to the winning side of things with Sam from Locked On Cubs. He's got the perspective from the Cubs side.
After losing the first 2 games of the season in Japan to the Dodgers, the Cubs roar back and take 4 of the final 5 to clinch the season series and win the season series against the defending champs. We don't have to see them anymore. I'm Sam Oler from Locked On Cubs. Another pretty crazy game. Nothing compared to the last couple days, but Cubs battled back again. Pete Crow-Armstrong, it was his show today. Matthew Boyd battled. Cubs had a lot of opportunities in the 7th and 8th innings to make this really easy on themselves, but they couldn't. Give a lot of credit to Daniel Palencia in the 7th inning, Julian Merriweather in the 8th inning, and Porter Hodge in the 9th inning. Not sure why Ryan Presley didn't pitch, but the bullpen closed out a 1-run lead today for the Chicago Cubs. Give them all the credit. The Cubbies are rolling. Our episode will be up shortly, and we're going to keep on going, baby.
Porter Hodge with his second save of the season in this one, too. Go ahead, Lindsay.
Sorry. Quick question for you. Matthew Boyd, 6 innings pitched, 10 hits, 6 runs, 3 earned. Do you still give him credit for a quality start when he gave up 6 runs, but only 3 earned.
Right. Yeah. That's going to fall on whoever caused that error for him. So yeah, I'll give it to him.
It was him. It was a
he did
error
it.
from
He
Matthew
did it.
Boyd.
Oh, well then no, absolutely not. No, he doesn't.
Should not count as a quality start in that situation. Yeah.
Well, we got Vince on the other side of things for Locked On Dodgers. He's going to give us his perspective.
Is it just the Cubs, or is there something wrong with the Dodgers pitching? Because the Cubs seem to know what to do when it comes to Dodger pitching. It's Vince from Locked On Dodgers. The Dodgers lost the second game in a row to the Cubs, lost the season series to the Cubs. So I guess there is a bright spot, is that they don't have to see Pete Crow-Armstrong on the Cubs again until maybe October. But the bad part is that the bullpen game was a bust. The Dodger offense was a plus. They did put up 6 runs. They did have 11 hits. But there was a couple of times when they had a chance to take a lead or at least tie the game, and they didn't come through. Shohei Ohtani is not had the dad strength that we think he was going to have when he came back from the paternity list. So it's not ideal. The Cubs put up a lot of runs against the Dodgers. Blake Snell's spot in the rotation continues to be really, really, really tough to replicate. And now he might be out a little bit longer, so there's a bigger issue at hand. We'll talk about all of it later on Locked On Dodgers, where we get podcasts and on YouTube.
Lindsay, this is why the Dodgers went out and signed literally everybody so that they didn't have to, find a spot to fill for Blake Snell. And yet here they are still struggling with these injuries, right?
Bullpen game, Noah Davis and Jack Dreyer combined for 7 runs on 4 hits and 4 walks in 1 2/3 innings. Like, not how you drew it up when you spent like $500 million in free agency for the second straight year.
Exactly. Hey, let's go to your team, Cardinals and the Braves. The Braves went over the Cardinals 4-1 in this one, Lindsay.
Yeah, this is the second game in the series where Atlanta used a giant 8th inning comeback, capped by a 3-run home run to take the game. They just, both starters in this one, Miles Mikolas for the Cardinals, Bryce Elder for the Braves, both dudes had ERAs over 7 entering the game. So, of course, they combined to allow 1 run over 6 innings each.
Naturally.
And the bullpens had to decide the whole thing. But Atlanta finishes with the 4-1 victory. They end up going 5-1 on the homestand. They won this series 2-1. Eli White, defensive replacement outfielder, doesn't get to play a lot, got the start in left field. They didn't pinch hit for him in the 8th inning. He gets the 3-run home run. One of those stories, he grew up a Braves fan. Nice. He grew up coming to the games, wearing the jerseys, always wanted to play for them. They talked to them. The media talked to him an hour after the game. His jersey was still on. He's like, I just can't take it off yet. I can't. I have to keep wearing it for just a little while longer before we get on the plane. So
you love to see a story like that, especially from a guy, the last guy you expect to hit the winning home run in a game. And then, of course, being a Braves fan, just beautiful. Let's go to Jake of Locked On Braves. He's got more from the winning side of things. Here we go.
Atlanta Braves go 5-1 on the homestand. A big home run laid by Eli White gives them the series victory over the St. Louis Cardinals. Jake Mastriani here from Locked On Braves. And what do you know? Pitcher's duel on this afternoon. Bryce Elder and Miles Mikolas go head-to-head in this matchup. Put up a bunch of zeros after the Cardinals strike first in the first inning. Bryce Elder really shuts it down after that. A great game by him. Offense really couldn't get anything going against Mikolas, but late in the game, Eli White with runners on second and third and 1 out, looking for that sac fly. He did a little bit more than that with a 3-run homer, and the Braves get the victory. They get another series win, and like I said, a 5-1 homestand. Now you got the off day on Thursday before they head out west. We'll cover this game and more over on the postcast and on Locked On Braves.
Good stuff from Jake right there. Of course, he's excited about the win. But let's go to JD. I'm sure that he's not feeling great in terms of his Cardinals. Let's listen in on what JD has to say.
Another day, another letdown by the St. Louis Cardinals bullpen. Hey, it's JD from Locked On Cardinals. And the Cardinals were trying to win their first road series of the 2025 season. Haven't done that yet. Not a lot of success on the road. Miles Mikolas throws 6 shutout innings today against the Atlanta Braves, but Cardinals offense goes AWOL, can't find them today, and then the bullpen is not able to stop the Braves late in the game. Jojo Romero ends up giving up a single and then an infield single, and then they bring in Ryan Fernandez, who's been one of the worst relief pitchers in all of baseball this year. 3 pitches in, he gives up a 3-run jack, 4-1 ball game. That's how it ended. Ryan Fernandez is now allowing opponents to hit 375 against him. .375. He has allowed 15 hits, 13 runs, and 11 earned runs in just 8 2/3 innings. But apparently, these are the guys we're going with, and nothing's going to change. For the latest updates and info, be sure to keep it Locked On Cardinals.
Sounds like JD is right there with Connor of Locked On Phillies about getting rid of some of these bums.
Everybody hates their relievers right now.
Yeah,
that's great.
Exactly. Hey, let me take you through Padres Tigers real fast. A 6-0 shutout from Detroit. They take the series from the Padres, who had the best record in baseball, but now that belongs to the Mets, sole custody of the best record in baseball. They were shut out by the Padres pitching last night, but the Tigers throw a shutout of their own. Reese Olson moves to 3-1 on the year with a 3.29 ERA, 7 1/3 innings pitched, only 2 hits, 1 walk, and 7 strikeouts. And he was the only one to give up hits because the rest of the way, Tigers bullpen shut it down, and both of them, OMG, came from Jose Iglesias, right, Lindsay?
Yep, that was the joke I was about to make, is Jose Iglesias had both the hits for the Padres, a guy that wasn't even signed until the season almost started.
Right, exactly. 3 home runs from the Tigers in this one. Gleyber Torres with a solo shot in the first. A Dylan Dinger, say that 3 times fast, 2-run homer. Justin Henry Malloy hits a solo shot. And Riley Green, who needed a good day, had one, and he went 2 for 4 with an RBI. Real quick, let's get Scott's reaction from Locked On Tigers. Here we go with Scott.
It is a series victory over one of the best teams in baseball. The Detroit Tigers win the rubber match 6-0 and take 2 of 3 from the San Diego Padres. I am Scott Bentley, host of Locked On Tigers. That was a dominant performance by Reese Olson. He goes 7 1/3 of shutout baseball, 17 whiffs when it's all said and done. Anytime he threw the fastball, it was a ground out or a weak fly out. And anytime he threw anything else, slider, changeup, righty changeups, it didn't matter. It was almost a guaranteed swing and miss. He has like a 3.3 or a 3.4 ERA, and it's the highest ERA in the starting rotation. The other 4 guys have ERAs to start with the number 2. This Tigers rotation needs to be nationally recognized as one of, if not just straight up the best in the sport. Oh, and by the way, their bullpen shut the door in this game, hasn't given up an earned run in almost a week. This team is riddled with injuries, and Riley Green is struggling, and yet they have one of the best records in baseball. They're tied for the best record in the American League. They have a plus 30 run differential. They just took 2 of 3 from the Padres. And dating back to last trade deadline, they have one of the best records in all of baseball. Maybe they're just good, and people need to talk about them like they are. We'll talk about that and more tomorrow on Locked On Tigers, baby.
Here we go, talking about the Tigers. Love that energy from Scott right there. And let's talk about those Tigers a bit more moving forward. Hey, when we come back, we're going to continue our look around the league. We got plenty more for you right here on MLB Game Night.
But first, today's episode is brought to you by our friends at Supply House. Get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trades, Supply House. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, electrical, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online for both professionals and consumers. It's an easy-to-use website packed with helpful resources, the latest product info to help a DIYer get the job done right. Complete inventory, 200,000 parts from 400-plus top brands. You will find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast, straight to your door. If you need help with an order, they have expert support and industry-leading service. So you'll always talk to a real person. And for trade pros who want an extra edge, they have a free Trade Master program with exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. So join the Trade Master program today, supplyhouse.com/TM, and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. And everybody, professionals and DIYers, can use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's at supplyhouse.com.
This is the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. And on MLB Game Night, it's everyone's team every day. We appreciate you being here. I'm John Frisch. He's Lindsay Crosby. Lindsay, let's get into our second round of games here. We got the Mariners over the Red Sox 8-5, a big day for J.P. Crawford. And the Red Sox were 2 for 10 with runners in scoring position. That's not going to get it done. So let's go to Tydan Gonzalez from the Mariners side with more.
The Red Sox 8-5 tonight at Fenway Park, and it was because of some big contributions from an unlikely cast of characters. This is Tydan Gonzalez, host of the Locked On Mariners podcast here, and it all starts with Emerson Hancock, who, I mean, wow, he shut me up tonight. Hancock was sensational, just straight up. 6 innings, which is something Mariners starters just haven't really done with any sort of regularity this year. 7 strikeouts, that's kind of the big note on Hancock, 12 whiffs. Did have some moments here and there where his command kind of faded, did give up quite a few hard hit balls, which typically leads to some pretty bad things for Hancock, but not tonight, despite pitching in Fenway Park where things can quickly get out of hand like we kind of saw there in the 8th inning. But yeah, there were some moments in this start as well where I'm just like, who is this guy? What has he done with Emerson Hancock? I mean, sheesh, some of those sinkers and sliders were nasty tonight. And then the Mariners get some huge contributions out of their 7, 8, and 9 hitters. Ben Williamson, Leo Rivas, J.P. Crawford. Those guys go a combined 7 for 12 tonight with 5 RBI. J.P. has 4 of those, including a 3-run home run. And then Ben Williamson with a 3-hit night and the other RBI that the trio had. And the Mariners are going for their first series win at Fenway Park since 2014 tomorrow. We'll see if they can get it done, and we'll talk to you after the game.
If you know anything about Locked On Mariners, and I hope I have this right, but Ty and Colby have not been fans of Emerson Hancock, so it's great to see the difference in tone for their. Hey, Lindsay, take us over to Blue Jays and Astros, where the Astros completed the sweep of the Blue Jays.
3-1 victory by the Astros. Honestly, to me, this was a little bit of an ugly game. When you're watching this, these teams combined to go 2 for 18 with runners in scoring position.
Woof.
16 men left on base. Toronto didn't get any hits, like 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. But all of the Astros damage that they did was off of Bowden Francis. 4 2/3 innings, 3 runs on 8 hits. Toronto's bullpen was really good. 5 hits, no runs, no walks, 4 strikeouts. But a lot of guys in the middle of the Houston order. Christian Walker, 2 for 4 with a homer. He's been slow to start the year. Yanye Diaz, 3 for 4 with the run. Zach DeZenzo, the right fielder, subbed in for Cam Smith, 3 for 4 with a run and an RBI. But Toronto only had 5 hits, and the big problem for them, bottom of the lineup, 0 for 14, 4 strikeouts. Complete opposite of what the Mariners did. But I believe we have Brett from Locked On Astros with some of his thoughts about how the game went in the victory.
The Houston Astros go streaking tonight, and they get their first sweep of the season. I'm H-Town Wheelhouse here with Locked On Astros, and yeah, that's me wearing Rockets gear. But Ryan Gusto was great tonight. Christian Walker did a phenomenal job. Jeremy Pena extended his hitting streak, and the offense did just enough, scoring 3 runs early. They didn't need any more. Josh Hader on the mound. The Astros are now 10-0 when he pitches. So things are moving in the right direction. The Astros continue to get closer to the Texas Rangers, and they hope to ride this hot streak into Kansas City, where they face the Royals, who are below 500, but have a dangerous team and guys like Bobby Witt Jr. and company who will be the opponents for the next 3 games. So stay tuned in to Locked On Astros. We're your team every day. Go Stros and go Rockets.
Yeah, Mariners and Astros just trying to stay in that race in the AL West because it's close, my friend. Take it from me. I know how close that it's been right now. Hey, Yankees and Guardians, 5-1 Yankees. Carlos Rodon has his second quality start in the row, 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 run, no earned runs, 2 walks and 8 strikeouts. Paul Goldschmidt with a nice day, 3 for 5 with a double and 2 RBI. Aaron Judge legged out a triple to score Ben Rice in the first inning. 11 total hits for the Yankees. Of course, Luis Ortiz pitched into the 5th for the Guardians, had 8 strikeouts. Unfortunately, surrendered 4 earned runs on 5 hits and 5 walks, right? Woof. So just not a great performance there. You look at it, hey, 8 pitch in the 5th, 8 Ks. I love that. But yeah, you got to look at the other stuff. Let's go to Jay Berman from Locked On Yankees postcast. He's got the rundown for us from the Yankees side.
Yankees beat the Guardians 5-1 in the series finale. Bombers avoid the sweep at the hands of the Guardians Carlos Rodon was brilliant. He gets the win. 7 innings, did not allow an earned run, struck out 8 through 90 pitches. He lowers his season's ERA to 3.50. As for the offense, Ben Rice, a hit, 2 walks, 2 runs. Aaron Judge, 2 more hits, ups his average to 415. Paul Goldschmidt had 3 more hits, ups his average to 383. Fernando Cruz and Luke Weaver got the final 2 innings. Again, 5-1 the final score. Yanks return home to play Toronto beginning Friday.
Love that from Jay right there. And man, you talk about somebody who goes to, the Yankees. It's always these veteran guys, like, right, it was Matt Carpenter before Paul Goldschmidt. These veteran guys just find it again when they put the pinstripes on, right, Lindsay?
There's something about playing for the Yankees that some guys just step up and do the best. And obviously you have the thing of Bellinger and his dad, what his dad did with them and all of that. But talking about like how well Carlos Rodon pitched, same thing, Reds and Marlins. This was a surprisingly good pitching matchup. Miami's ballpark helps, but Reds win this 5-2. But Sandy Alcantara gets back on the good side of things. Right, quality start, six innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. Does give up I believe a home run to catcher Austin Wynns, who went 3 for 4 for the Reds, the backup catcher there. But on the other side, Brady Singer did even better than Alcantara. 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 runs, no walks with 8 strikeouts. It's looking like that the India for Singer trade was an absolute win for the Reds. And yeah, the difference here was the backup catcher Austin Wynns, again, 3 for 4. And then the Marlins bullpen gave up 2 runs late when the Reds bullpen did not. I believe we have Jeff Carr of Locked On Reds with some of his thoughts about how this one went.
Austin wins. Yes, this is now far more than I thought I was going to say his name this season, but Austin wins. Leads the Reds to a big win. At least, a series salvaging win. They didn't get swept, all that other stuff. But hey, it was a good day for the Redlegs in Miami on Wednesday. What's up? This is Jeff Carr from the Locked On Reds podcast. And Austin Wynns went 3 for 4. He is just hitting the cover off the ball every chance he gets. He's not playing every day, but when he's up there, he's doing damage. A triple away from the cycle. He hit the home run that tied the game off of Sandy Alcantara and then provided some insurance later on in the ballgame. You love to see everything that the Reds are getting from the guy who, quite frankly, began the season as the 3rd catcher, and he's only up in the major leagues because Tyler Stevenson is hurt. I find it hard to believe that he's going to get sent down now. As much as he continues to produce, whenever Tyler Stevenson is back healthy, Austin Wynns has a place on this team somewhere. And that's going to be interesting to see how the Reds decide it. But the Reds end up moving on, losing 2 out of 3 in Miami, heading to Colorado with imagination of brooms on their mind. We'll talk about that on the next Locked On Reds podcast.
A very different reaction from Jeff today. He was very upset about that loss yesterday, but lots of help from unlikely places in this segment. You got to love that. Hey, we're going to continue our look around the league. In fact, we're going to get to the Orioles and Nationals. The Nationals, they're making the Orioles look real bad. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Today's show is brought to you by our friends at Wonderful Pistachios. Of course, baseball season is here, and the best snack to have with you at the game is Wonderful Pistachios. It's a snack that's both delicious and nutritious, filled with a good source of protein. Each 1-ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better-for-you unsaturated fats to help you keep going all day. Maybe you like the no-shell variety, so you can eat them by the handful, or it's the perfect snack with the in-shell variety to take to the ball game. Gives you something to do, lets you play, with the shells and toss those aside. It's a great snack to have at the ball game, especially if you're an anxious watcher like I am. You got to have something to do with your hands, and cracking open those shells is perfect for that. Every shell has a satisfying crunch, so get snackin' and get crackin' with a snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. All right, Lindsay, we're going to do a little bit of rapid fire here. Let's go White Sox Twins, a 6-3 win from the Twins. Of course, Ryan Jeffers has a 3-for-5 day, triple. Brooks Lee, 2-for-4 with an RBI. Trevor Larnach and Byron Buxton, homer. The top 4 hitters all scored a run in this one. Miguel Vargas for the White Sox had a nice day. Unfortunately, they just came up a little bit short with the Twins over the White Sox, 6-3. Let's go to Brandon from Locked On Twins for the winning side of things.
Surely it wasn't perfect, but the Twins bang out 12 hits and beat the White Sox 6-3. This is Brandon Warren with your Locked On Twins post-game minute as the Twins move to 9-15 and now look to go for the sweep of the White Sox before welcoming the Angels to town. Solid offensive night. Byron Buxton with a home run and Ryan Jeffers with 3 hits. Trevor Larnach with a home run has lifted his OPS like 130 points in the last 48 hours. So offense doing more good things than bad. Also 6 walks, but also 13, a season high 13 batters left on base, including 8 to the first 3 innings. That was the first time since July 13th, 1991 against the Red Sox. 12,339 days ago that the Twins stranded at least 8 in the first 3 innings. We're looking at Chris Paddock, Shane Smith going for the sweep on Thursday. It's NFL Draft Day, but we'll have full coverage. This is Locked On Twins.
What a stat. What a stat. Another stat, not as good as that one, but another stat. Orioles, Nationals. Nationals win 4-3. And here's the thing. It could have been worse.
Right.
Like the Orioles had so many opportunities. They go 1 for 12 with runners in scoring position and leave 12 guys on base. They get a grand 10 hits, but 1 extra base hit. It's a triple from Jordan Westberg. And the Nationals, they just started off here. Home runs in the first inning. James Wood solo shot. Josh Bell 2-run homer. Orioles tied it up in the 8th, but just Gregory Soto giving up some runs late. They just couldn't seem to hold on. Orioles have now lost the last 3 and 6 of their last 10. For a team that wanted to contend for the division and maybe the World Series, this is not really a great look for them. So here's Ryan Clary of Locked On Nationals, some of his thoughts about the impressive win for Washington.
Baltimore, they just met the legend of James Wood. I'm Ryan Clary from Locked On Nationals, and the Nationals get their 2nd consecutive win in this Beltway series, and they go for the sweep in tomorrow's show. You start off the game with a lead-off home run. I think that ball may have landed in Baltimore. For all we know, James Wood, 415 feet, or I think it was 450 feet. Who knows at this point in time? 116 miles per hour off the bat. That is the main line from today's game. The Nationals, 4-3 win. Trevor Williams going 5 innings deep, only giving up a few hits and 1 earned run. That is a new season record for Trevor Williams. But how about the Nats bullpen? They try to do their best with Jose Ferrer and Jorge Lopez blowing it, but they did not. And the Nats, they get the win, and it was a big one against the Orioles. Let's get the sweep tomorrow.
431 feet from James Wood, so nothing to sneeze at, but not quite 450. Not quite what Ryan was putting out there, but that's okay. You gotta pump up your team like that. Hey, look, Pirates embarrassed my Halos tonight. Andrew Heaney, of course, is going to come back and face his old team and make us look foolish. He retired the first 13 batters in a row, struck out the first 6, earned his 1,000th career strikeout. I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to let Gary from Locked On Pirates talk about the winning side of things because the Halos, I can't stand them right now. So let's go to Gary.
O'Neal Cruz, long blast, leads the charge for the Pittsburgh Pirates tonight. Hey, I'm Gary from Locked On Pirates. Man, what a game. First of all, Andrew Heaney, 2nd level, awesome. Man, was he good. Just completely shut the Angels down. Struck out the first 6 batters he faced. And then really a few good hits. Pirates had traffic on the base paths all night. The left on base problem continues. But as long as they're winning, you're not going to complain too much. Some of those wins start turning into losses. That's going to be complaint number 1. That's what I'm going to start talking about tomorrow on Locked On Pirates.
That O'Neal Cruz homer, 463 feet.
I don't want to talk about it.
I just had to point out that one actually was a long home run. A game, not a long home run, but a long game. Rays and Diamondbacks go 11 innings. Rays finally get it 7-6. And this is another one that was just kind of wild. Corbin Carroll hits 2 home runs in this one, 2 for 5, 3 RBI total. Flip side, Tampa Bay's leadoff hitter, Yandy Diaz, is like, it's fine. I'll go 3 for 6 with 3 RBI.
Right. He needed that.
Yeah. He really did. He's batting 230 now on the year, which is kind of low for him. But every single Arizona starter from their original lineup reached base in this one. They finally win it in the 11th. Cameron Misner drives in the ghost runner who was on second base. He tried to leg it out into a triple, beat the ball there, but the pop-up slide, he came off the bag during the pop-up slide, and they got him. And so bases loaded in the 11th, Geraldo Perdomo grounds into a double play to end it. Kind of a frustrating loss if you're a Diamondbacks fan because you felt like you battled. You had a good offensive night, just couldn't quite get it done. You got to do better than 1 for 14 with one scoring position if you want to win a game in MLB.
Absolutely. Hey, let's take it to Brewers Giants. 4-0 Giants over the Brewers. 14 total hits in this one, but none for extra bases.
Either team
in this one. Bryce Turang 2 for 4, but Christian Yelich and Jackson Chourio combined to go 0 for 7 with just a walk and 3 strikeouts. Contreras was shaken up in the 6th on a slide into third, but he did stay in the game. The Giants, you got to love Jung-Hoo Lee, 3 for 4 with a run. Wilmer Flores, of course, one of the most feared bats in baseball right now. Let's go to Ben Kaspick of Locked On Giants. He's got more from the winning side.
Resilient bounce back win for the Giants. Logan Webb, a scoreless start, lowers his ERA to 1.98. Wilmer Flores leading the major leagues in RBIs. This is Ben Kaspick with the Locked On Giants podcast. Just a great bounce back win for the Giants after they got pummeled by the Brewers in game 2. Won the first game, so a chance to win 3 out of 4, and at the very worst, split a series against a good team. So the Giants played really good defense in this game. The Brewers not so much, so it was really pitching, defense, and timely hitting from the Giants. It got dicey for Ryan Walker in the 9th inning for the second consecutive time. This time, Bob Melvin made a move, went to Camilo Doval, who was really good. So thank goodness for Doval bouncing back from a bad last season. I think Randy Rodriguez deserves a bigger role. I think you could put Jordan Hicks in the bullpen and put Hayden Birdsong in the rotation. So a lot of moving parts, but all in all, a big win for a team that has showed resilience and an ability to bounce back. So we'll break this one down tomorrow on Locked On Giants, where it's your team every day.
Another big win. Athletics 5-2 over the Rangers.
Right.
The Athletics are 11-13 now.
I know.
They're in last place in the West still, but they're close to 500.
Creeping up on my Angels, man.
Big thing here. Shea Langoliers goes 4 for 4 with a run and an RBI. So yeah, you'll love to see that. Lawrence Butler hits a home run. Nick Kurtz makes his major league debut, gets an RBI single and is in the at bat. And then JP Sears does enough for them to win. 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 runs, 5 strikeouts. They give it over to Mason Miller. But on the flip side, for the Rangers, Kumar Rocker, one of their promising young pitchers, 1 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 5 runs, 1 walk and 2 strikeouts. Doesn't make it out of the second inning. You hate to see stuff like that. Thankfully, they have somebody in the bullpen who can go and eat 4 1/3 innings,
right,
just to keep them from having to destroy the bullpen. But rough night for the Rangers in the 5-2 Athletics win.
It's the Wild West in the AL West right now. And so I know it's only 3 weeks in, but nobody's really ran away with it yet. Finally, Rockies and Royals, they got postponed due to rain. They're going to play a doubleheader tomorrow, 1:10 Central Time. So stay tuned for that. Lindsay, what a rundown we had tonight. And we thank you for everybody who tuned in. I like to call them our night shift. They're hanging out with us late and they're tuning in with us live. So we appreciate you being here. For Lindsay Crosby, I'm John Frisch. This has been another edition of Locked On MLB Game Night. Lindsay, you'll be here tomorrow night, correct?
Yep, it's me and Steve Lennox, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Looking forward to that, and we can't wait to hear your coverage of tomorrow's slate of games. Until then, thank you for being here, everybody, and we'll see you back here tomorrow for more Locked On MLB Game Night. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.